What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Delta Entertainment. I am your host, Liquor Kenobi. And before we get started, we'd like you guys please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Would appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's get into this. I've never heard of this game before, which I really don't care much because this is by Sweet Baby Inc., by the way. And it looks like things are not going well with Sweet Baby Inc. once again. Because, like I said, any game that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved with will go into ruin. Sweet Baby Inc. game South of Midnight flops hard. Another Sweet Baby Inc. project crashes on launch. So I'm gonna say this, bro. These people, this is a company that goes with all the DEI nonsense and this woke propaganda. And they have done their best to insert all that nonsense into good game titles. Like Spider-Man, Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, a lot of these titles. And they've gone into ruin. And it's like I've said before, anything that Sweet Baby touches will go into ruin. I mean, you guys can look at the record. You guys can check out the track record, So let's take a read at this and see what happened. It's another brutal blow for Sweet Baby Inc. and its embattled CEO, Kim Belair. The company's latest narrative endeavor, South of Midnight, has officially launched, and the results are nothing short of disastrous. What was meant to be the first-party Xbox Game Pass showcase has turned into yet another cautionary tale of what happens when identity politics take precedence over actual gameplay. Disastrous launch numbers speak volumes. While some defenders try to soften expectations by pointing to Game Pass availability, the raw data tells the real story. On Steam, still one of the most reliable barometers of public interest, South of Midnight has barely cracked 1,000. Concurrent players on launch day, Smash TT, one of the most vocal independent gaming critics, noted that even a paltry 2,500 players would have been embarrassing. This game didn't even come close. So here is the result of this. And it looks like it came out on April 4th, which I didn't keep an eye on. So it came on April 4th. And this is how much it got. Look at that. The 24-hour peak, it was at 1,086. And now players now, which was probably yesterday, is 1,082. And I tell you, man, like I said, man, Sleep Baby has been nothing but bad luck with them, bro. Let that sink in. A Microsoft-owned studio released a new life, promoted a major showcase, and it barely attracted a 4-digit player count on the biggest PC gaming platform in the world. Narrative over gameplay, the Sweet Baby Inc. formula. Why such an abysmal showing? The answer may lie in the fingerprints Sweet Baby Inc. felt left all over the project. Long known for their identity-driven narrative consulting, Sweet Baby Inc. has increasingly become the face of forced ideological storytelling in games. From character and archetypes to dialogue tone, gamers have spotted a clear pattern. The gameplay takes a backseat to social agendas, and South of Midnight fits that pattern perfectly. A non-viral post from Hub Banner and X summed up the player's sentiment. So let's look at this video real quick and see what they have to say.
Saying I would definitely like to see more queer characters of color, not just just a white queer character. I would like to see more people that look like me. I think audiences have a very vocal minority of people who are very much against inclusion of anything that's not, as we said, like a cis straight white man. But our existences aren't political; they just are. And I think that more and more people are expecting to see that kind of representation, and also expecting it to get broader as time goes on, as opposed to just having that same white gay guy archetype, or like Ellie in The Last of Us. We're looking for people who non-binary, intersex, trans, who aren't just white, they look like me and you. And I think that games are starting to delve into that more, but I think it also needs to be intentional and not an afterthought. It can't, like, if you're writing, like Tori said, it has to be from the beginning. The team should be from that community, not like, oh, we're wherever in our process, we should probably bring on like a consultant who we may or may not listen to. It should, from the beginning, it should be a priority. And I think audiences are hungry for that kind of thoughtfulness.
For someone to say that kind of stuff is BS, bro. That's just total BS what this woman said. I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to say this again. Gaming, movies, cartoons, fantasy TV shows. It's entertainment. It is entertainment. It is our way to escape reality. This is not we shouldn't be putting any political nonsense messaging in these things. I mean, if people like that wanted to create a game that's with all that nonsense, create your own game. And they did with this game, and it failed. It failed completely. So, of course, no one doesn't want to buy your game. No one doesn't want that. I mean, dude, haven't they not learned yet, bro? Sweet Baby has not learned, man. So, the video in question features a long speech about the importance of inclusion and representation in gaming. The creative team's public affiliations have often poured fuel on the fire. The studio's community manager, known online as Pikachu Lida, that has a history of diverse rhetoric that has been well documented by independent critics like Smash TT. Her front-facing role in the game's promotion really only reinforced the idea that the project was built for clout, not for players. 7.5 hours of boredom. Critics slammed the content. If the player count were bad enough, the content of the game itself is being widely mocked. Full playthroughs on YouTube clock in around 7.5 hours, which would be short even for a budget indie title, let alone a supposed AAA showcase from a first-paced studio. Steam user reviews echo in disillusionment. One user, Zani, wrote, "Looks kinda cool. No DEI rot in the game so far. The main problem is the gameplay is so boring. After 1.5 hours, I asked myself, do I want to continue? The answer is no. That's not just a bad review. It's a death sentence. When players are bailing before they've even reached the halfway point, you've failed at the most fundamental level of game design. Compulsion games blocking critics. Making matters worse is compulsion games baffling public behavior. According to Smash CT, not only did the studio decline a review code, but they also untagged themselves from his coverage on X and eventually blocked him altogether. That's not just unprofessional, it reeks of insecurity. If you're proud of your work, you're welcome feedback, but if you know you've built a lemon, you hide from it. Right now, Compulsion Games is in full retreat. Sony may have already pulled the plug on Sweet Baby Inc. The collapse of South of Midnight couldn't come at a worse time for Sweet Baby Inc., especially with new rumors swirling that Sony has already begun severing ties with the controversial consulting firm. Yeah, I mean, Sony should have done this a long time ago, bro. Sony should have left a long time ago. But let's see if these other studios will start waking up and getting out of there, bro. Because it's starting to look bad for Sweet Baby Inc. right now. And people are starting to wake up and see it. As previously reported, Gothic Therapy revealed that a verified insider claimed PlayStation has started canceling project with Sweet Baby Inc. attached, a potential massive shift from one of the industry's biggest players. According to the leak, these weren't isolated decisions either. They were described as targeted, deliberate cancellations, a sign that Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement was seen as a liability, not an asset. While still unconfirmed, the timing lines up with the reports that Sony quietly shelved multiple in-development titles earlier this year, even one of those had Sweet Baby Ink's narrative fingerprints on it, the message is clear. Studios are finally rethinking the cost of prioritizing ideology over gameplay. Now, with South of Midnight officially flopping, that decision may look more justified than ever. Another loss for Kimbalaire's empire. While the gaming press won't say it out loud, players already have. Sweet Baby Ink is becoming a liability. The pattern is too obvious and to ignore. Every game they touch turns into an underperforming, over publicized mess. Exactly. If South of Midnight was meant to be a turning point, it backfires spectacularly. And as the industry quietly begins to question the role of narrative consultants, one thing is clear: Sweet Baby Inc. isn't just losing influences, they're losing the audience. Exactly. This is why I say this. Any game title that Sweet Baby Inc. gets touches and gets involved with will go into ruin. So, I'm hoping people realize this, bro. Just open your eyes and start looking at things and pay attention. That's all I gotta say, bro, because anytime I see something like this going on, I can't get involved with it, man. And it really sucks. And like I said, I played Spider Man 2, I played the game. Story was good, but with Miles Morales' side missions, with you playing a mute deaf woman, helping a gay couple and all, and doing this pride nonsense and everything, they really, it was not necessary, bro. It wasn't necessary. They just ruined it. They ruined the game, bro. That's what ruined Spider-Man 2, really. But like I said, dude, guys got to start paying attention to these things, bro. I mean, look at their game titles that they have touched, and look how much it failed. So, just giving you the heads up on that. So, that's going to be it for this video. So, please share this video, post a comment below, let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being part of the channel. And I hope to see you until next time. Bye, everyone.